Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Series of Politics podcast, where two heavy hitters in the political, legislative, and regulatory space take swings at the curveballs thrown at the gaming sector by legislators and regulators around the world for IGB. We've got Brendan Bussmann and Brandt Iden stepping up to the plate to discuss the hot topics in this space from across the world. Let's play ball on another episode of the World Series of Politics.
Recorded this. Okay, I'll do the countdown.
Sure.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the World Series of Politics podcast. I'm your host, Brandt Iden, along with Brendan Bussmann, who obviously just got back from a beatdown in Nebraska by my Wolverines. Boy, that was quite a showing out there. Tough. Look what happened when you actually play a real football team, Brendan. I don't know
if I'd go that far saying you have a real football team. Your quarterback, well, decent. You know, your line play was good. I'll give you that. But I will also challenge your biggest fan in Mr. Portnoy. This was not a high school team that they played. We are a much better team than a high school team.
Fair enough. I did listen to his emergency press conference after the game. I will say, I was watching it on television. Of course, I wasn't there, but the crowd went absolutely nuts with that Hail Mary touchdown right before the half. I mean, that must have been absolutely wild.
Well, the game was an interesting one. We'll leave it at that. But, you know, you've still got 8 games ahead, and we're looking forward to those. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to make it to one of them, as I hoped you had.
I know. I appreciate the invite. But I will be seeing you very soon in Las Vegas at G2E. What a segue. Thank you, my friend. And we have the always fabulous Maureen Beddis from the AGA to join us on the show today. Maureen is going to walk us through a little bit about what we can expect. This is our sort of annual G2E preview show, so I'm very excited about it. I, of course, love coming out in addition to all the wonderful educational sessions, which we're going to quickly preview here today. I also love seeing everybody once a year at this show. I think it's a wonderful show. I know we've got a lot of excitement. Maureen, tell us a little bit about what we can expect, what the attendance is looking like, obviously you're very, very busy right now with 2 weeks leading up to the show.
Yeah, we're in the teens in the number of days left to the show. So I'm in my home office today. I don't have my countdown clock in front of me. And so hopefully that will make me a little more relaxed for our discussion, because I'm a longtime listener and first-time interviewee. So thanks for having me, guys. We're leading up to G2E here. Let's hit the important stuff first. October 6th through the 9th at the Venetian Expo in Las Vegas. We've got lots of great things happening this year. I think G2E is really, really the place where global gaming community gets together. It's our 25th anniversary, so that's also super exciting. And, 25,000 attendees come to this show, 120 plus countries. So it's really the show where deals get made, innovations get showcased, and where, tough conversations happen. So really looking forward to it. And of course, like I said, Las Vegas, undisputed gaming capital of the world. So where else would this show be? So really looking forward to getting there in a couple of weeks.
Well, I would add gaming, sports, and entertainment capital of the world, because we're famous now for a lot more than that. But, one of the things sort of going with the entertainment phase of this, you've added a specific competition to this year's show. Why don't you talk about that and what that actually is all about?
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting additions to this year's show, but you just hit on the one I'm probably most excited about, which is the first ever U.S. Dealer Championship event that we're hosting at G2E. So this is an idea that came to us through our partners at the European Casino Association. It's an event that they've been doing in Europe for a couple of years now. I had the opportunity to head to Austria earlier this summer, watch this competition for myself, and just see the talent that's involved with these table games. And so we are going to do the first ever U.S. Dealer Championship at G2E this year. We did a call for nominations a couple of months ago. We've got a short, great list right now. We've got dealers from 34 properties in the U.S. participating.
Awesome.
Shout out to more than half of those are AGA member operators, so super exciting for me to see that. But this is an event where we'll have them deal blackjack and roulette and a couple of other kind of challenges that are really designed for them to show their technical mastery, their customer engagement skills, and really like this exceptional standard of customer service that keeps people coming back into these properties every year across the US. So excited to do the first ever one. Hope it's the beginning of something really great here. And who knows, we may eventually be laddering up to a global dealer championship. So starting in Europe, now we're adding US, and maybe this continues on. So really excited about doing this.
This is very cool. So will there be actual pretend consumers on the other end? Will there be people at the table sort of participating?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So with each nomination, the property had to nominate their dealer, but then also nominate a judge. And so the judges are also coming from the participating properties. And so they won't be judging their own dealers, but they'll be scattered throughout the space and judging the others. And so, yeah, there'll be, like I said, 34 dealers, and this will be all taking place over in Hall D. Okay. I always say over in Hall D because all the hall names make sense to me as the show organizer. But for those of you who aren't looking at things in terms of halls, this is all going to take place when you walk through the main doors of the show floor, all over on the right-hand side. It's a new area this year that we're calling the Strip. And so the Strip at G2E. And so you'll have the dealer championship space over there, also where our networking lounges are, also some photo op spots for, grabbing your photos and selfies for the 25th anniversary of G2E. But you won't be able to miss this space where the dealer championship events are happening. And we'll crown the champ on Thursday afternoon.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, as everyone that listens to this show knows, I'm a player. So when I'll be able to watch this and then hopefully, go over and win some money in the casino as well while I'm there.
Brandt, I think you should be like an honorary judge or something, along the way.
Well, now you got me thinking about it. As this thing expands, I got to get involved in this thing.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
It's going to be great.
I've made a mental note.
All right. So, Maureen, tell us, obviously, we've got, Bill Miller that'll be giving our keynote, kicking off the show as he always does. We've got some great main stage lineups. What can we sort of expect from that educational session this year? I see some really great things on the lineup.
Yeah, the conference program continues to grow at G2E. So we do something every year now for, I guess, the last 3 years, where we do a call for content and nominations for speakers. Certainly at AGA, I think we've got a really good handle on what's happening in the industry and what we would like to talk about. But G2E is really a show, kind of by the industry for the industry. So we do this call for content and speakers each year, get a lot of really great ideas. I always say sometimes when we're going through these, like hundreds and hundreds of submissions, and be careful what you ask for. It takes a long time to go through all of that, but great ideas that are out there. And that's really how we kind of pull together the content for the show each year. So we've got more than 100 sessions, more than 330 speakers. We're going to cover all sorts of topics: regulatory challenges, RG, sports betting, tribal gaming, iGaming, inclusion and culture, future of gaming technologies. I really think the G2E conference is the most comprehensive look at the industry that you can get anywhere. And like I said earlier, we also use the conference as a way to kind of talk through some of the tough topics. And those are usually the sessions where, kind of you can't really even squeeze into the room, which would make most show organizers nervous. I see that and I'm like, all right, we're talking about the right things. If I can't fit in the room, that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So we'll be talking about a lot of things that I think are pretty topical throughout the conference. And then you talked about the main stage activities. So we'll kick things off Monday afternoon with a conversation with some of our representatives from the Indian Gaming Association. And so we work with Victor Rocha each year to really develop the content that kicks things off Monday afternoon. So they'll be talking about innovation and what the challenges and opportunities are, for the tribal gaming community with that. And then on Tuesday, Bill Miller, AGA CEO and president, will set the stage really for the rest of the week at G2E and talk a little bit about what AGA is seeing from an industry perspective. And he'll introduce Hope King, who is our new moderator this year, and she's going to moderate discussions with Peter Jackson from Flutter, Jason Robbins from DraftKings, as well as Bill Hornbuckle from MGM. So really interesting, of course, every year to hear what some of the top execs are seeing in the industry and what they're thinking about. And then something a little bit different on Wednesday morning, we have a content partnership with Global Gaming Women each year. This is the first year we're bringing that content partnership to the main stage. And so they'll have a moderated discussion with fitness enthusiast Kendall Toole. So some people know her from her past time as a Peloton instructor, and she'll be leading a discussion with Global Gaming Women about the importance of mental health today. So really over those 3 days, I think we've got hot topics, big names, and a topic that's important to everybody, whether you're, in the gaming industry or not, really. So excited. I think we've got a good lineup.
Maureen, one of the things I want to go back to something you said about, making sure that the room's packed. I just always thought that was the session Brandt was in, people seeing if he actually wore his pink suit this year again.
And they can throw things at me. That's what they also enjoy, Brendan.
I had that luxury, back in Minnesota a couple weeks ago. I said, no tomatoes, please. No tomatoes in the room. But, you've highlighted the main stage and especially some of the stuff that, is bookend with the tribal and the global gaming women aspects. But, looking at those individual sessions, what are some of the key topics you guys are talking about this year in the show?
Well, certainly we're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about RG. We'll talk about things like AI and gaming, which, continue to be of importance. But we're more specifically, I think you're going to hear us talk about prediction markets. You're going to hear us continue to talk about sweepstakes casino. I referenced that as actually one of the sessions where we did have standing room only last year. And so that continues to be a hot topic. And we're going to, continue to pick up on that conversation, but also, regulatory challenges, all, sports betting, all of the main topics will be covered throughout the program this year, but definitely we're spotlighting those hot topics.
Well, I remember last year, the sweep session really sort of kicked us off into what sort of transpired throughout 2025 on the legislative front on a lot of these sweeps issues and now, of course, culminating with the bill in front of Governor Newsom in California now. And that really started with the conversation last year at G2E. So, look, I'm looking forward to it. Maureen, we have taken up enough of your time. You've got 2 weeks to get ready for this show. But let me say two things. First off, a huge thank you to the AGA for putting this on. You all over there do such a wonderful job with this show. We all look forward to it. I know it's tough. It's not easy, but it always comes together at the end, and we're really looking forward to it. And secondly, of course, a plug. I will be speaking on Monday and Tuesday. I have the privilege of doing a tribal gaming session on all the benefits of tribal gaming from the online space in the state of Michigan. And then on Tuesday, I'll be doing an iGaming a piece and a regulatory piece with our friends over at GLI. So I couldn't tell you what room I'm in, Maureen, but I'm certain it is on the lineup. So look, always a pleasure, Maureen. Thank you so very much for joining us. Brendan, any final words?
No, just always good to have everybody back in Vegas. And just for all those out there, Vegas is not dead. We are all very much alive out here. But the media reports are false and fake news out there. So enjoy having everybody come out here and look forward to the week.
Okay, we will see you in 2 weeks. This has been another episode of the World Series of Politics podcast with your hosts, Brandt, Iden, and Brendan Bussmann. Catch you all on the next one.
Thank you all.
You've been listening to the World Series of Politics podcast with Brendan Bussmann and Brandt Iden. We'll be back at the starting line very soon. This has been an IGB production. For the latest news, views, analysis, and data on the global gaming industry, head to igamingbusiness.com.